Good morning and welcome to Worldwide Wisdom, as we are going to dive deeper today into the chaos of our lives in order to understand the spectacular coping mechanisms that the Alter Rebbe gives us. We're learning a discourse of the Alter Rebbe. It's called Mayim, Rabim. It was delivered in the year 1807 by the founder of Chabad. This stuff is the foundation of Chabad. Chabad is not a denomination of Judaism. Chabad is an exceptional, sensational, exhilarating, exciting approach to faith. It's a tool to survive the vicissitudes of this world. And that's what we're learning here today. We learned, just a quick recap, a helicopter overview of what we've learned so far. We learned that the flood of Noah was not supposed to destroy as much as it was supposed to uplift. That's why it's called by Isaiah, May Noach, the deluge of Noach, of serenity. Noach means serenity. The deluge of serenity. It's a very strange name, right? It's like calling it the Holocaust of peace. Like that would be an oxymoron, the Holocaust of peace. What is that supposed to mean, right? Makes no sense, right? But it's called May Noach because God's intention with all of the troubles that he gives us is in order to lift us up and not to break us down. This is a profound spiritual truth that could be painful for you to process, for any of us to process. And that's why it's important to learn it in the text so that you can really ruminate and meditate and dive deeper, which is what we're going to be doing today. We applied that, the Alter Rebbe applied that to our personal financial anxieties. There's no such thing as a person that doesn't have any form of anxiety. Every person you meet is fighting a battle that you know nothing about. Everyone has anxieties, everyone has worries, everybody has cup drainish, right? The question is, what is the purpose of those headaches? Are we supposed to live a life that is worry-free? This is what they advertise. They tell us, if you buy this soda can product, this sugar water, you'll have a worry-free life. That's advertising, right? You will look like this girl in this place if you drink sugar water, right? If you buy this car, this vacation, that timeshare, right? This house, then that's it. You're never gonna have any worries ever again. Literally a placebo, yeah. So there's no such thing. God didn't put us into this world in order to retire. That's not why we were here. It's like a soldier in Gaza who's being told that if you join this unit, then you'll have you'll be able to sit on the beach and relax in Gaza. Not happening. It's not the context of where we're going. You know what I mean? You're not put into this world to vacation. It's not a retirement village. You want to rest, it happens nach 120, after 120 years in the cemetery, so you rest. But you don't rest in this world. This world is Ayer Adam la'amal yulad. Man was born in order to toil. Now, what's the purpose of that toil? Is that because God is sadistic? Is that because God enjoys watching us suffer? No. The purpose is because the suffering, the anxiety, the headaches are going to lift you to places that you never were prior able to reach. What does this mean? So we've spoken about that. The Alter Rebbe said that the way that we do this is through meditation. That's how it works. Through meditation, when you meditate over your anxieties, then you neutralize them in your head and in your heart and in your actions. It's a series of evolution. When you go through meditation, you actually are able to neutralize and retro-engineer the anxiety into propulsion. You reframe. Now we're going to dive deeper into this. We did also speak about different levels of meditation. We spoke about level 1 of meditation, which was mental replay. Level 2 of meditation, which was
replay
in your own words, paraphrase. Right? Level 3 of meditation, what was that? Remember? Interpreting. Not really, not yet. That was maybe level 2. Level 3 was lightning rod. Level 3 was, allow the brain to storm this idea. Beautiful, well said. Brainstorm. You allow the brain to just storm like a lightning rod, attracting any idea that you have associated with that content. And then you'll be building a beautiful cholent, a delicious cholent in your head. Level 4 is a meditation which is emotive. It's a meditation. Whilst the previous 3 meditations might lead to emotion, this one is directly guided towards emotion. Level 5, which we've not encountered yet, is we're not even going to do it today. We might touch on it a little bit. Level 5 is a meditation which is not focused on emotions as much as it's focused on communion. Communion, which is intimacy. Intimacy with what? Intimacy with God, right? Intimacy with Hashem. That is level 5 meditation, but we're not going there just yet. That's going to take time, folks. I'm just mentioning it to you. I'm putting it out there, but we're not there yet. Now, what we're doing today, we're on page 164 in the Chayenu. We're learning this text of Mayim Rabim. We're going to learn inside the text what happens when you meditate, and then we're going to learn the why. We're going to address the why in just a moment. So first, I think we are going to address level 5 right now. In fact, we are. We're going right now to level 5, and I'm just going to touch on that. We're going to touch on what happens on level 5 meditation. Level 5 meditation is the game changer of all. This is the relationship changer. It's kind of like, I want you to think for a moment what happens when you meditate over your wife. Think about that for a moment. You can meditate over a conversation that you had with your wife. You can just replay it in your head. That's level 1. Then you can replay it in your own words. That's level 2. Then you can do level 3 meditation, where you can brainstorm over an encounter or an experience with your wife, and you could just sort of like see how it makes you feel, right? Level 4 is when you meditate over your wife and you meditate towards emotion, about how you feel about her. And that's going to be a really lovely place when it leads you towards feelings of love, because, sometimes you can take your loved one for granted. It's very, very, very easy to take your loved one for granted, to not appreciate their presence. When a woman needs the small things, she needs small words, small touches, small gifts, little small reminders. It's interesting. Psychologists tell us that the men and women grade things very differently. For a man, there's a whole spectrum. If she does something little for him, it's 1 point. If she does something big for him, it's 30 points, 40 points. If she buys him a Bentley, it's like 100 points. You know what I mean? Right? There's like
it's on the credit card and it's minus.
Right. So there's a whole spectrum. But for a woman, essentially, I've read this somewhere that in psychology, that for a woman, everything is worth 1 point. Everything is worth 1 point. So if you wash the dishes, or if you bought her a diamond choker necklace for $50,000, it's the same thing. It's the same 1 point, which is why men get so confused. They think, I just bought you a diamond choker necklace. I could do no wrong for the next 6 months at least. Right? The next day she loses it. He's like, I don't understand. You're not grateful. And this is where the spaghetti hits the fan and nobody knows it's flying. Right? Because the woman's measure is 1 point for everything. A man has this value system, right? Hierarchy, right? So it's important. It's a level 4 meditation is to be able to reflect on her and appreciate her. So you're working towards a meditation, but towards an emotion, But level 5 is a totally different experience. It's zero gravity. Level 5 is when you lose sight of yourself as you're melting into her. To quote the verse, therefore shall a man leave his mother and his father and cleave to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. Think about the definition of intimacy as defined by the Bible right there. They should become one flesh. This is not only talk about reproduction. Western Australia, welcome, nice. Where in Western Australia are you? I spent some time in Perth, by the way. Anyway, so V'davak is related. V'davak be'ishtai, he shall cleave to his wife. What? Dveikus, it's the same word. It's the same exact word. Dveikus means rapture, right? Dveikus means communion. It means becoming one. This is this is the essence. This is the secret of marital intimacy. Marital intimacy is not when you're having sex. It's when you're making love. I'm sorry, man. Sorry, too young. I'm sorry. I apologize. Explicit. I apologize. PG 26 here. Sorry. So it's not when you're taking. It's when you're giving. It's important to understand that, where you lose sight of yourself and you become one with the other. Intimacy is 1 + 1 =
1.
Great.
1. Oh. 1. Nice. Very good. 1 + 1 = 1. This is intimacy, right? That's what it is, right? So when we have the same level 5 meditation, you're not only focused on a self-centered, egocentric, narcissistic foundation. On the contrary, you're giving yourself over. It's like a soldier who says to his commander, send me wherever you want me to send me. You know, there's various people in the history about people who have managed. Hi, Nashville, welcome. People who have experienced, have touched this place in the Bible. Think about Ruth. Think about Ruth. What did Ruth do? The first convert. Amazing. Not the first, but the most famous convert. Her mother-in-law, Naomi, says to the two daughters-in-law, the two Moabite princesses, like, you're princesses, what do you want from me? I'm a forlorn woman. I'm not going to get into the whole story, but she's going back tail between her legs. She abandoned her people, and now she's going back. Her two non-Jewish daughters-in-law, right, want to come with her. And she's like, you guys are princesses in Saudi Arabia. Stay here, right? What, you in Riyadh? What do you need to come back with me to Bethlehem where you're going to be a pariah? So Orpah says, good idea. She goes back. But Ruth says, El asher telchi elech. Where you go, I go. Ameich ami. Your people are my people. Velokayich Elokai. And your God is my God. Asher talini alin. Where you sleep, I will sleep. And where you die, I will die. I forget the exact words, but this is the ultimate. This is the essence of conversion of a person that releases attachments from where they're coming from, and they engage with where they're going to. This is divine intimacy. This is true marriage. This is true love. Remember what the word love in Hebrew means. In English, love is something that happens to you. I think in the American culture, love is. Oh, interesting. I like that. I like falling in love. Falling in love means I'm losing my balance. I'm losing my standing. That's good. That's very good. But when they talk about falling out of love, not so good, right? Right. But in English, I think, in America, I think that love is something which happens to you. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. I might be wrong. I don't know. At least in Hollywood. Better. Hollywood. In Hollywood, love is something which is a convenience. As long as he's making money, as long as she's a supermodel, I'm in love.
It's transient.
Right? Right? But in Hebrew, the word love is a very, very interesting word. Ahava. You know what ahava means? Aleph, hey, vet, hey. Is made up of a root. The middle letters is hav, which means to give. The word hav means give in Aramaic, which means in English, or in America, I think love is a 50-50 thing. I think most people would agree that love is a 50-50 thing, or to meet us in the middle. It's a compromise. But in Torah, it's not that. Ahava means love. It's a give.
Both parties giving unconditionally.
100%. It's 100%, 0%. Now, you say 100. I disagree with you. I personally disagree with you. I disagree. I'm sorry. I respect what you just said, but I think that is the essence of failed marriages, and I'm going to try to elaborate on that.
Clarify my point.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and clarify, because I'm pretty passionate about that point.
So you give everything that you can give in the moment. Because
Yeah.
we can't always give.
Yeah.
What some people consider 100, but you're always giving to the extent that you're able to.
100. You're giving 100. Very good. I'm good with that
Whatever you
part.
can to the extent
But then you
that
said she gives 100. Explain that.
we both do.
Now you're actually worse than the Americans. I'm sorry. I hate to be so. I'll tell you what.
But I don't have an expectation.
I'll tell you what.
She just does.
Hollywood, at least. No, don't tell me you don't have an expectation. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm sorry if I'm being a little, what's the word? Abrasive. I apologize, but I'm very passionate about this because at least in Hollywood, it's a 50-50. So each one expects only 50 from the other. You went, I want 100 from the other one. That's even more. And you said, I don't have an expectation, but I want 100. What does that even
Why do
mean?
you use percentages at all? Why isn't it just that in a marriage you give and when she needs something you give it, when you need something
What's that? Show one at a time. Hold on.
when you need something she gives it, when she needs something you give it. Why do you need 100 or 0? Why use percentages at all? You're both giving to each other when you need.
Whether you're using percentages or not, you, Larry, agree with him where you're saying you're both giving, and I'm disagreeing with you both.
Okay.
I'm saying you're not both giving, only I am giving, and she is not giving.
2 against 1.
That's fine. You could both be wrong. It's okay.
You're assuming she's not giving.
Of course she's taking. Of course she's taking.
Universal feminine is reception.
Your wife will not agree. She doesn't want to take.
Follow.
she wants to take, but she also needs to give.
Yeah, but give
She
and
can
take
give
is the
if
same
she
thing.
wants to, but she does not need to. And I'm going to prove it to you in just a moment.
Okay.
What were you going to say,
You don't
Mendel
have
Chaim?
to get at what I think Michael is saying is we're always trying to give 100% to our relationships. We should not expect from our
Partner.
spouse that we expect them to give, but we expect them to give what they can give. And what he's trying to say is that
Are you a lawyer or something?
Yeah.
another
What is that? It's the same exact thing. You're like, I'm expecting 100, but I'm not expecting. I'm not expecting it. Just that she's supposed to give it, but I'm not expecting it.
Why is she supposed to?
Okay, guys, I want to reset the paradigm. Forgive me. Allow me.
Reset the
Wait,
paradigm.
I did hear something interesting.
Okay, I want to tell you, Penny Cohen over here, who's a renowned local
Yes.
psychologist, she says that true intimacy is receiving, quote, each other's energy and feeling like you're in the oneness together. Interesting. South Australia is here too. Nice, thank you. Kenny Friendsman in Adelaide. Nice. I never made it to Adelaide.
Focus, Rabbi.
All right, focus. Good. All right, guys, let's get in here. Okay, guys, I might not get to the saintliness of the sinner today, which is the title of the topic, but this is a very, very important topic, this one, level 5 meditation. Very, very important. Allow me to explain. Okay. The way that Hasidus explains the concept of marriage, and this is a discourse that was delivered by the previous Rebbe, Rabbi Yosef Yitzchak Schneerson, at the wedding of the Rebbe, the 14th of Kislev in the year 1927, I think it was. It is a foundational concept of marriage that every Chabad groom recites at his wedding. Okay, what is the theme of the discourse, which is the foundation of marriage? It is that a man is called male, zachar, and the woman is called a female, nekeva. Nekeva. Now I am paraphrasing. Okay, zachar means male. In English, what does male and female mean? It means nothing. Male and female means absolutely nothing. It's just social consensus that if you put the fe before, it means woman. Nothing. Man, woman, or maybe womb. Maybe there's a womb in there. I don't know. But in Hebrew, the word zachar means a protrusion. And the word nekeva means a hollow. Why is a male called a protrusion? And why is a female called a hollow? Because the nature of the man is to give and the nature of the woman is to receive. The man is the giver and the woman is the receiver. When a man goes into marriage with expectations, with demands from his wife, he is not a man, he is a woman. When a man comes into marriage expecting sex, food, emotional support, or anything else, he is not a man, he's a woman. And two women in a marriage is a lesbian marriage.
There you go,
Pardon me for being so crude.
Now
I didn't say no sex. What I am saying, Larry, what I am saying is that a man, and tell me, folks, you're much older than me. You have much more experience than me. You have much more experience. So tell me, well, don't tell me. But I'm going to say this.
I have a headache, honey.
I'm going to say this, that a man, a husband who expects nothing will get everything.
I don't know.
Try it out. Homework.
Expect nothing.
Homework. I want to tell you, a husband who expects nothing will get everything, and a husband who expects everything will get nothing. That part you know, right? That part you know. Now try the other side, all right? The husband who expects everything gets nothing, because you gotta let her desire you. Give her a break. Stop suffocating her. Give her space. We live in a hypersexualized society where with plunging necklines and soaring hemlines or skirts or whatever, it's hypersexualized. This is not the way it's supposed to be. You're not supposed to be constantly in a state of sexual tension.
I think age does that to you.
Age
As you get
does that?
older and older and older, even though you expect nothing, you're going to get nothing.
Yeah, let's make your lure is in concealment.
Now, folks, I want to give an example of this. I want to give an example of what I'm talking about. Phoenix says that true a man who expects nothing will get everything. Beautiful. Thank you. He will be in the feminine body. You know what the Talmud says? Lots of lesbian marriage out there. Nice. Okay.
It's the highest rate of
The Aussies are photobombing the live stream today. New York is in. Okay, Stockholm. The defender on. Fine. Anyway, so hang on a second. He's not in Stockholm syndrome. I just want to say something very, very important. I was going to say something. Shoot, I think it just skipped my mind.
Mordecai, help him out.
Somebody said, I was getting an example. Somebody's going to say something. All right. Here's what I want to say to you. Oh, the Talmud says two things. I had two thoughts in my mind at the same time, and they both. So the Talmud says like this: Ashrei Misha Bonav Zchorim, praised is he who is sons. Well, it says praised is he whose children are male. Oile Misha Bonav Nekevos, and cursed is he. Oh, woe is he whose children are female. It sounds awful, right? But that's not how you're supposed to read it. In Hebrew, the word children and the word sons is exactly the same word. Bonav, ben. The word ben can mean son, it can mean child. So instead of reading it as blessed is he whose children are male, you read it like this: blessed is he whose sons are male, and woe is he whose sons are female. Suddenly this becomes a whole different perspective, folks. I'm not even talking about homosexuality. I'm talking about weak. I'm talking about weak men. I'm talking about men who aren't men. I'm not even talking about that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about men who are expecting to receive. Men who are nekevas, men who are hollow, men who are recipients, men who walk into a marriage with expectations that they're marrying not a woman that they're supposed to give to, but they're marrying a nurse who's supposed to tend to them. They're marrying a chef who's going to cook for them. They're marrying an executive assistant that's going to take care and tend to their needs. You need that, hire someone. Right. You want a chef? Hire a chef. It's cheaper than a wife, right? Much cheaper than a wife, right? Yeah. But that's not why we get married, folks. Right. There's a foundational psychological book. It's called It Didn't. No, there's a foundational book to read by Hugo. Forget his last name. Hugo's his first name. It's called You're the One You've Been Waiting For. You're the one you've been waiting for. People get married today because they found the person that makes them whole. They found the person that's going to care for them because, I have a broken knee and this one, she's a nurse. So this is a perfect relationship. Right? I like potato kugel. She likes to cook potato kugel. So we're in a perfect relationship. My mother wasn't nice to me. She is nice to me. Wonderful.
I found some person who completes me.
It's a fixer-upper. It's amazing. That is the most gruesome mistake we can possibly make, cringeworthy, that we can possibly make in a marriage. You're the one you've been waiting for. If you're getting married because you're broken, that marriage ain't going to last. You're going to have a leaning tower of Pisa. If you're going to have a marriage that lasts, it's got to be such a marriage where I'm healthy and I'm here because I love you. Or in Manas Friedman words, because I love. Because I want to tend to you. I want to give to you. I'm talking to the men right now. This is obviously the purpose of a marriage, right? Which is for a man to give. What were you about to say, Mordechai?
With my therapist, she told me when I was talking about my last relationship, I was in 10 years, and she was telling me, you can... I was in it for the reasons she was taking care of me, and that's the wrong reasons you could get, like you said.
Who, the therapist or the marriage?
My therapist told me.
So you're agreeing with me. Wonderful. Fantastic. I want to give an example in nature, guys. So in nature, about marriage, right? In nature, the man is the zachar, is the male, right? And what does he do? He emits seed. Sperm, semen, right? That seed is exactly the same word as planting a seed in the ground. In English, it's just planting a seed, emitting seed, right? And in Hebrew, it's zera. It's exactly the same word. Zera, zayin, reish, ayin, is exactly the same word for sperm and for planting a seed in the ground. Same thing. Because the farmer is the man. And what's the relationship? And who's the woman? The earth is the woman. Now imagine if the farmer's walking around all day with expectations from the earth. Doofus. You're going to be spending a lot of time with your therapist. At least I got your attention. Imagine he's walking around feeling bad that the earth isn't being nice to me. He's walking around. The earth is too soft. The earth is too hard. The earth has got a headache right now. Relax. It's the earth. What do you want from the earth? It's earth. Now, what's your job with the earth? Your job with the earth is to tend to the earth. This is what God tells Adam. Work the land, man. God tells Adam right up the front. He's like, what are you doing here? Your job is to work the land. Your job is not that she should give you a foot massage. Your job is not that she should relax you from your anxieties. That's not her job. She's the earth. She's supposed to receive your seed. You're supposed to buy the land and water the land and tend to the land and what do you till the land and make holes.
So my wife always says, "What's yours is mine, and what's mine is mine."
Okay.
That's the same thing,
She's right.
right?
What's
What's yours is mine. She's kind of right. Yeah, she's right. Yeah. Well, look, I'm not speaking today, Larry. I'm not speaking today from the perspective of the woman.
Okay.
I'm speaking to the men today, right? Right. I'm serious. I'm speaking to the men. Women have a different spiritual mission. Today I'm working on the men, right? So the woman's job, the man's job is to work the land, lovingly tend to the land. Don't go to your mommy and cry that the earth isn't being nice to you. No, just buy it and tend to it, put up a nice fence and keep out the foxes and keep out the, the rats and the bad influences and make sure it's getting all the right rain and maybe build a greenhouse if you want. Do your thing. Now what are you going to do? Now you put your seed in the ground with zero expectations and you continue to lovingly tend the earth. You put water and sunshine and love and everything else. Now what's going to happen? A man who expects nothing will get everything. You know what she's going to give you? She's going to take your one puny little seed, okay? And she's going to give you countless seeds. She's going to give you an apple tree that grows apples forever. She's going to give you more than you ever imagined possible. That's what's going to happen when you are a man and she's a woman. But when you come into a marriage with expectations, I don't think anything's going to grow, man. Seriously. If you come in, you're waiting for the earth to serve you. It's not going to happen. That's not what earth does, right? Let's take a look at this idea in the context of here. Again, we went off topic a little bit. In topic. No, what I did is I wanted to skip over this, but it turns out that yeah. What? I'm sorry.
The relationship between a man and his children that his wife gave him.
Oh, this is an interesting question. So what's the relationship between a man and his children? The relationship, if you want to understand the relationship between a man and a woman, a husband and wife, the best place to look is at a man and his children. I'll tell you why. Because when it comes to your kids, we naturally have this giving mentality, at least for the first few years of life. When you look at your little babies, your pitziklach, you don't expect anything from them. You give them food, shelter, clothing, love, warmth, cuddles. You don't feel bad that they didn't wish you a good morning, right? Until they're a little bit older. That's when you start having expectations, right? Which is where things go awry, by the way. When parents suddenly have major expectations, you owe me.
You pick up the phone.
You owe me nachas. You owe me whatever. That's where things go awry when parents have expectations from kids. But as long as parents have no expectations from kids and it's all giving, that's the model for your relationship with your wife. That is the model, except that it's different. It's much more than parenting. It's the foundation of the relationship. That just like you only give to your parents, it's a one-way street. It's not a 100, which I'm passionately opposed to. I'm sorry. It's a 100, 0. You can tell me till the cows come home that you don't have expectations from her, but you said it. You said a Freudian slip, 100, 100. And that's going to surface at some point. But if it's 100, 0, right? Imagine the farmer was walking around. I have a 100 relationship with the earth. I give the earth 100 and the earth gives me 100, right? No, I give the earth 100 and the earth does whatever the hell it wants. That's what happens, right? That's the relationship, right? Because I'm a giver, I'm a male, and the earth is a female. Finished, right? Now,
So Yitzchak had no expectations, and he got
100 times. Look at that, 100 times ago. Now, what was I just saying? Oh, so parenting. When it comes to parenting, you give and the kid receives, but it's not sexual, obviously. So when it comes to a wife, not only do you have the foundation of giving, but more than that, you evolve into dissolving, where you lose sight of yourself. You fall in love. You don't do that to your kids. You don't lose yourself in the kids. That could be already abusive parenting, where you lose yourself in your kids. You can't be codependent on your kids, but you got to become one with your wife. That's a very, very unique and beautiful space, which few people reach, but it's absolutely reachable. Let's look at this idea now in the analog, life imitating art, art imitating life, as we apply it to God on page 164. When someone deeply considers all this, their soul ignites with love and yearning. Like fiery flames, that's level 4. That's level 4, fiery flames. You became emotional, wanting to escape the darkness of physical constraints and connect directly to God himself. Blessed be he. That's level 5. Level 5 means I became so emotional about this relationship that I actually lost track of myself and I fell into God's arms.
Where exactly?
Page 164, bottom of the
bottom
page.
of 164.
Where it says love, the bottom of the page.
Okay.
I'm in that. I read the first thing.
Okay.
As it is written, who am I in heaven? And besides you, imcha, I desire nothing. This quote is from Psalms 73. The word imcha can also be read with you. In other words, who am I? Who have I in heaven? And with you, I desire nothing. Which means one desires neither the lower nor the higher Gan Eden. Magnificent spiritual realms described as being with the Almighty Imcha. You know, you speak to a lot of non-Chabad yeshiva students, and they'll tell you that they're doing everything that they're doing for spiritual greatness. You know, most people spend time investing in their life in this world, but they'll spend their efforts investing in the next world because they want to have a mansion, a palace in the world to come. But this level is losing sight of yourself. I don't need myself. It's not about me. It's not about my ego. It's about us. It's about me melting into you. But they consist of just radiance and illumination, as our sages said. The righteous sit and enjoy the radiance of the divine presence. That's it. It's not about me. I lose myself in you. Imagine looking into the eyes of your loved one and just losing yourself, not remembering how she burnt the kugel last week, and remembering how she didn't do this, that, and the other, and how she ticks you off and makes you nervous and so on. Let go, man. Just let it go. It's about melting into her eyes. The object of one's desire, rather, is to be attached to him, to God, longing for complete union with his very essence, in the Zohar's words, to be absorbed into the king's body. This is level 5, my friends, of meditation. It was known that the Alter Rebbe would often pray on his own in his room, and they actually had to put like cushions on the wall of the room. The Hasidim put cushions on the wall of the room because the Alter Rebbe, in his tefillin, he would sort of throw himself at the wall while he was davening. He was in such a state of rapture, and he would say these words: "Ich will nicht dein Gan Eden. I don't want your heaven, your paradise. Ich will nicht dein Elam haba. I don't want your world to come. Ich will mer nit as dich allein. I want nothing more than you alone." That is the height of intimacy. That is the height of union. The Hebrew word for love was ahava, alom. A-H-A-V-A. This is the height of union. This is the height of intimacy. It's parenting 2.0. I love my kids. I give my kids, but I don't dissolve into my kids. I don't melt into my kids. That I do with my wife. I melt into her, and that's therefore shall a man leave his mother and his father. Your mom told you that you're the best thing that ever happened to this world, right? Let go of that, man. Move on, right? And cleave to his wife. Become one, and then you should become one flesh. This is the height of intimacy. And in the next lesson, what we're going to learn is we're going to learn about how it is that engaging with this meditation is going to lift you higher than you started off. That's what we're going to learn. We're going to learn about the spiritual powers of the sinner, the added powers of the sinner, the lofty spiritual energy of the sinner. In other words, why it is that engaging with anxieties, engaging with darkness, engaging with troubles, meditating upon them, how that is going to lift you up to much, much higher than you started. That's going to be the theme of the next lesson. Thank you very much.
So meditation